Dance your cares away. Worries for another day. Here's a look at the brand new Boss Fight Studio Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock Gobo. Gobo is a guitar-playing musical Fraggle, a born leader and explorer. Following in the footsteps of his uncle Traveling Matt, his adventures take him through the caves and tunnels of Fraggle Rock, even into the outer space to retrieve mail from his uncle. While Matt usually travels alone, Gobo likes to take his friends along, especially with his best buddy Wembley. Is that the sound of Sprocket I hear? Let's quickly take the tape measure and see how tall the brand new Boss Fight Studio Fraggle Rock Gobo stands. A classic of mine growing up as a kid. I know they've rebooted the series, but even as a kid, I loved Fraggle Rock. And being a Canadian fan myself, it was kind of fun to find out, too, that Fraggle Rock was filmed in Toronto, Ontario. As we go ahead and, like I said, take the tape measure, I did find this one over at Entertainment Earth. I've actually picked up this one, Traveling Matt and Red. So we will be looking at a whole bunch of Fraggles in upcoming videos. Back, though, to Gobo, he's going to stand at about 4 3/4 of an inch in height, translating, though, to a figure that's roughly about 11.5 centimeters tall. I know Gobo's uncle Traveling Matt has spent more time in the outer space and interacting with humans, but if we were to interact maybe with another license that Boss Fight Studio has successfully done in the past, here's what Gobo looks like along with Bluto from the Popeye Classics line. And also, speaking of Traveling Matt, one of the included accessories for Gobo happens to be one of Matt's postcards he sends to him. Before, though, we talk about the postcard and many, of course, the other sprinkled Fraggle things, let's talk about the thing that actually Gobo comes packaged inside. Boss Fight Studio cleverly decided to use recycled cardboard. Yeah, it's cardboard. And yet, though, while you look at it, and especially with Gobo still sitting inside of it, it actually looks like the wall of Fraggle World. I think that's really awesome, the fact that they decided to make a material like this and reuse a material that makes it look like the inside of Fraggle Rock. Let's move that off to the side, though. As already, though, mentioned, Gobo does come include a postcard from Traveling Matt. I do like that the postcard does have something featured on the front, although most of the time Traveling Matt usually was wandering around the streets of Toronto. In fact, actually, there's a few episodes where Traveling Matt is going inside of a mall, and I think that's inside the Eaton Centre here in Toronto. While the front of the card, though, does have a mountain, we don't have mountains here in Toronto. On the back, though, of the card, it's unfortunately completely blank. It would have been nice if they had put in some sort of scripture, something, of course, that Gobo would be able to read to him and the rest of the Fraggles. One of the things, unfortunately, though, you probably have already noticed by what's on my fingers, yeah, a lot of paint seems to come off frequently from these pegs. Again, the hand can be kind of swapped out with the existing hand that he has over here. He only really has one hand, and then, of course, he already has the existing ones on the ends of his forearms. The figure does also come included with the Fraggle Lantern. Now, this, again, can be held in Gobo's hands. It is actually also a separate piece, so if you wanted to leave it off altogether, I suppose it could also serve as well for a walking stick, or you could also even have him holding it this way. For me, at least I'd like to complete the two pieces together and just have the lantern dangling the way it is right now. Love that. I think that's really cool. The figure does also come included with a Fraggle guitar. Oh, there's more of the settled paint on my fingers. Comes with the Fraggle guitar. The way that the guitar actually sits, you more or less would want to have it sitting around the front of the figure's body like this. I mean, you could also have it off to the side as well. Obviously, you're going to have to want to really get it around his arms as well. The one problem I have kind of with Gobo, and I'll kind of say this really early on, is that this one arm seems to pop off frequently. I'm giving you full disclosure ahead of time because I know it's probably going to fall off a couple of times. This arm's not so bad, but this arm right here, well, you'll see it in a second. So the guitar itself is nicely painted. The handle itself doesn't move or anything like that. It's molded completely in place. The figure does also come with an alternate head portrait also as well. This alternate head also does have a little bit of a different expression for Gobo, and it does, of course, has the hat on the back. The hat isn't removable. It's part of course, the total package. And, of course, he also comes included with radishes. Fraggles do love their radishes. They also seem to like to eat doozer parts when they're building the cities. And I think from what I remember, it tastes like mustard. Of course, having the included radish is a nice little touch. Like I said, we will be also looking at Traveling Matt and Red as well. I don't know if any of the other ones, I haven't really had a lot of time to look at the packaging. I don't know if they also come included with radishes. Radishes. On to then Gobo himself. Okay, so we've already kind of discussed the one issue I have with this figure is that this arm here falls off frequently. You can probably already see the type of peg I have to contend with. It's quite small, and it only plugs into, obviously, this one little hole into the socket of his shoulder. He also has a vest, which I suppose if you wanted to, if you took the arm off completely, you could take the vest off completely, and you would just have Gobo without that. I mean, obviously, I would like to have the vest completely on him. The vest, though, does cause some conflict because the way it actually sits, it doesn't sit far enough forward that maybe that's causing also issues when it comes to plugging the arms back in place. But again, like there's this small little peg we have to work with. There's the hole right there. Every time that I think that I have this in place, and also even when I removed Gobo from the packaging, the arm popped off right away. It's not broken. Not at all, in fact. It's just one of the things that, unfortunately, as again, I'm going to be moving the figure around, moving his arms around, this arm is going to probably come off a couple more times. Defaulted head sculpt that we get out of the packaging does, in fact, look a lot like Gobo. I'm surprised, actually, that they went with a more smoother plastic for his face, his hands, and down below in his legs. When, of course, when he's made of being a puppet material, I would like to have thought that they could have gone in there and make kind of the material kind of more textured. Not too much where it would look just too much of an eyesore. But if they like having it smooth like this, it kind of looks less really like an actual Muppet. And I suppose maybe the intended plan was they wanted to make it look more like the actual Fraggles. Maybe that's the idea. But the head sculpt looks really good. I have no issues at all with the head sculpt. I also like the way they painted the sleeves. Like the paintwork on this piece is fantastic. You can see like even on the back, he's got a couple of Traveling Matt's postcards on the back. Looks like he's also got a bracelet there in his pocket. Another couple of postcards also as well. He, like Traveling Matt for him, Gobo always thought of him as a hero. Of course, he does also have the scarf too. Now, the scarf is a separate piece. I was actually kind of surprised to see that. I thought they would have just simply molded it to the front of his torso. Down below, of course, we got ourselves the Fraggle legs and the Fraggle tail, the classic tail on the back of his body. It almost does seem like it would have a wire built into it, and it doesn't look like it's the case at all. There's a little bit of flexibility to it, but it's more just to the material that they ended up using. Luckily, though, there is some posability, so you can easily rotate the tail back and forth. I don't know if I would say, I mean, it's on a good ball joint. I mean, you're not really going to be able to move. It's not like you're going to turn the tail around because it's only just going to be getting in the way. I think most people probably would either have the tail up like this or just slightly a little bit more relaxed. Now for Gobo's articulation, now I know that this is probably going to result in this arm coming off, but the head is going to be on a ball joint. Yeah, it's going to rotate all the way around. The one thing about it, though, is as it's rotating, it's going to also rotate the collar piece, and it's also going to turn the tie. So you may want to kind of hold the tie. Turn the tie without the D. Hold the tie, and then you'll be able to move the head freely back and forth. Does it move up and down? Only by just a little bit, and Gobo does also have a head rock back and forth as well. As for the arms, I have really no issues on this side of the arm. The arm move rotates all the way around and also hinges out at a full T pose. This arm, on the other hand, though, does, again, when you move it around, I don't know if you have had the chance to pick up Gobo. Let me know if your arm seems to have the same sort of problems. But again, that just, again, plugs in place. There is a hinge joint, and the hinge joint does successfully work. I just wish, though, that peg allowed this to stay properly into the socket of his shoulder. He has a bend in the elbow, and that's the case obviously on both sides. The hands also rotate all the way around. You can hinge them back and forth too. The figure does also have a waist swivel. Seems also like it's potentially a ball joint, although the ball joint doesn't really move up and down all that much. He certainly does have, though, ball joints in his legs, and you can get about that far of a split for Gobo. The leg moves forward, only by just a little bit, though. You can also move it back. He has a single hinge in the knee. I did notice, though, that the knees are really tight on Gobo, but the lower leg does also rotate. There goes the arm. The ankle rocks back and forth, and it does move up, also up and down. The figure doesn't, while not having included in a display stand, Gobo does, though, have peg holes in the bottoms of his feet. So if you want to have the figure displayed on a display stand, you can certainly go with that route. Yeah, Gobo's a nice looking figure. Let's go and actually, you know what, while we're doing this too, let's take the hand off and we'll replace it with Traveling Matt's postcard hand. Again, we'll just plug it in place. Yeah, paint will be coming off a couple of times. Don't be too surprised to see that. You know, also while we're at it too, there goes the arm. While we're also at it too, let's go ahead and take the head off. The head just detaches from the ball joint. And again, really, you could take this off too. I don't know why you would really want to take that off. Let's go ahead and take then the alternate head sculpt, and we'll just plug it back onto the ball joint. Other than really just the one issue I have with the ball joint on the shoulders not properly, or the peg joint not properly working, and also getting this head in place. I may even, in fact, have to go and heat this up. You can see I've done this already once, but I may have to even heat this again to heat that, just to make sure that the head attaches properly, just so that Gobo isn't decapitated. Let's go ahead and pop the original head sculpt in place. We'll pop the original, obviously the only other arm that he has. We'll pop that also in place. Yeah, Gobo's a nice looking figure. The only one real issue that I have, and I don't know if I can fix that by heating. I can obviously fix changing out the head sculpt with a little bit of heat, but I can't do that though with his arm. His arm just being such a small peg, and even really when you look at the hole as well, when it's on his torso, it's a little off to the far corner. So like plugging the arm seems to be in place it succeeds until you start to move the arm, and then the moment that you do, it seems to come off. It doesn't happen at all on this side. It only seems to happen on this side. And I don't know if I'm just the rare case where my Gobo can't seem to keep his arm on. I'm sure during the adventures of unboxing Gobo from his cardboard tray, you probably had asked yourself, where were all the extra accessories stored? Humbled reviewer, we only saw the Fraggle lantern, we only saw Gobo. Where was everything else stored? In between the cardboard tray and the back of the box, there was also a Ziploc bag. The Ziploc bag then contained the traveling mat postcard hand, the alternate head sculpt, the guitar, and the radish. Anybody that's picked up any of the Fraggle Rock figures will also know that as well. I have swapped everything out in favor of all the other extra goodies. So now, of course, Gobo does have a little more of a serious look on his face. I hope he's okay, of course, with the toque on the back of his head. Does anybody really call the hats toques, or if it's only just us Canadians? Of course, he does have the traveling mat postcard in his hand. That's not a hard thing at all to change. And then, of course, he does also have his guitar. The guitar, I suppose you probably could have that sitting around the back of the figure's body. I mean, for me, at least, I probably won't end up displaying it at all with Gobo. I think when it comes to putting this guy on the shelf, which I most definitely will be doing, Gobo likely will have the traveling mat postcard hand, maybe then the walking stick with the lantern, and then the original head sculpt for Gobo, because I think it's the better of the two. I am certainly looking forward to opening up the unboxing of Uncle Traveling Matt, and of course also Red. There's also as well Cotter, Pin, and Architect, two doozers that we will be also looking at in upcoming reviews. If you guys are interested and would like to get Gobo or any of the other new Boss Fight Studio Fraggle Rock figures, I did actually pick this one up at Entertainment Earth. Not a bad price either. I think they were like 25, maybe a little less than 20 a piece. And again, for that, you're getting decent looking figures. Boss Fight really always knock it out of the park when it comes to whatever licensing that they've done. And so far, what licenses that they've handled were all ones that I'm familiar with as a kid. I mean, Popeye, Strawberry Shortcake, and now Fraggle Rock. What do you guys think of Gobo? Let me know down below in the comment section. Have you guys had the chance to pick up any of the new Fraggle Rock figures? And if you have, which ones have you grabbed? If, of course, you guys did also enjoy this video, do it a solid and throw it a like. You guys want to stick around for more so? I hope so. Like I said, we are also going to be looking at Traveling Matt and Red. Those videos will be coming your way. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you turn on the bell. Make sure, of course, you're coming back. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.